Hello. I've got another non-Sudoku to do today. This one looks like it might be difficult, but I'm not really sure. I found it on Logic Masters Germany, and it only has a 3-star rating, but it has a 98% quality rating. And I guess we'll see. It looks like it just because it's a different rule set, it might be a little tricky, but we've got this one pulled up in Penpa today, and it's called X Sums Philomeno by Jesper, or Jesper, not really sure. Um, and the rules are fairly simple. It is standard Philomeno rules. So we're just filling the grid with polyominoes, essentially. That's where Philomeno comes from. So you could have 3, 3, 3, and draw in a polyomino like that. So it's just orthogonally connected regions that are the size of the number in the region. Now you can't put another 3 region right here because regions with the same size and having the same numbers in them cannot be connected orthogonally. But you could put one right there because they would just be connected diagonally, and that's okay. So that's Philomeno. And then the extra rule here is that the clues outside the grid indicate the sum of the first x digits in the corresponding direction, with x being the first digit in that direction. So this is standard x sum stuff that you may be used to from Sudoku sometimes, but essentially it's telling you that, like this 12 clue here, if this is a 4, then the first 4 digits have to sum to 12, including the 4. So if that's 4, then these other 3 are going to have to sum to 8. So it could be something like that. That would be a valid x sum for that 12. But you also have to, of course, have those numbers fit into Philomeno's. So kind of a weird combination of rules that I think sounds like it'll be really interesting, a lot of fun, interesting logic. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes, I guess. It sounds like it could also be complicated and confusing, but it only has 3 stars, so it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. All right, I'll leave a link in the description where you can try this puzzle yourself, and I'm gonna give it a shot now. So let's make sure we start the timer. There we go. So I mean, the first thing I can see is all of these ones are just gonna have to be a 1 because there's no other way to do an x sum. And I'm gonna draw these in. I'm using the number setting on Penpa for the numbers and the edge setting to draw in the lines. And I believe so answer checking is enabled, but I think to make the answer checking work correctly, you have to just put in the numbers. I don't think the lines matter actually. All right. So, well, the smaller numbers are going to be, not have too many options. So, like 4, you couldn't do a 3, because if you had 3, now you've got to put 2 more numbers in here, and you've only, 4 minus 3 is 1, so that's not possible. So, and it can't be 1, obviously. None of these can be 1, except for the 3 ones that we already put in. So, it's got to be a 2, because it can't be 3, can't be 1. Obviously, anything bigger than 3 isn't going to work. So 2, which means the second one's also got to be a 2, which is going to give us that domino there. The 5 could be, no, it can't be 3 either. Now, you could say 3, normally with an x sum, you could say 3, 1, 1, potentially. Not if it's a Sudoku, obviously, but you could do 3, 1, 1. But now we've got 2 1s, and you can't have 2 1 monominos, as they would be called, connected. So actually, you can't do 3. So again, that one's going to have to be 2 with a 3. But now we can't draw the lines because these aren't going to be part of the same Philomeno. So there's going to have to be a 2 up here or down here. Now what about the 6? Could you do 3? You could do 3 with a 1 and a 2. You could do 2. You can't do 4. So it's got to be a 2 or a 3. If it's 2, then this one has to be a 4. If it's 3, then this one has to be a 1 or a 2. With a 1 or a 2. Actually, 3. Yeah, it could be a 1 or a 2 still. Because this could be a 2 with a 2 down here. Because what we have to remember is if we do 3, 2, 1, that 2 has to connect to another 2 somewhere, which would have to be down here. Okay, maybe the 9 crossing with the 6 will help us. So the 9 could be, we know there's a 2 there. So it can't be 2. If the 9 had, if it started with a 2, you'd have 2, 7, and this one can only be a 2 or a 3. So what if we did a 3? This would have to be, no, it wouldn't have to be a 3. This could be a 2, because we could still do 3, 3, 3 going across here for our triomino. So 3, 2, 2 would be 7. You'd have to have another 2. So we can't do that because you'd have 3, 2, 2, 2, which would be too big. You can't have 3 2s connected. So if this was 3, it would have to be another 3, which would be 6, 8. And then you could do a 1, 3, 3, 2, 1. But this 2 is going to be isolated. It needs another 2 to connect to it. So in fact, this can't be a 3 because it doesn't work with 2 and it doesn't work with 3 there. So this can't be a 3. Can't be a 2. What about 4? So 4, 2, 2, 1 would work. 4, 3, 2. No, this can't be. Actually, now that this one can't be a 3, if that's a 3, where is it going to connect to other 3s? This is not a 3. This can't be a 3. This can't be a 3. So this one can no longer be a 3. So actually, once we know this isn't a 3, this one has to be a 2. 2, 2. And so now if we had 5, we'd have, yeah, so you can't go bigger than 4. So it's got to be a 4. 2, 2, which makes this one a 1. Let's draw in our border on our 2s and our 1 there. Okay, so now we know this one is a 2, which means this one has to be a 4 to complete the 6. And the 4 here has to have another 4 coming over. Definitely. Now the 4th one could be either one of these. But we do know that there's a 4 on the 11 clue here. Somewhere. It has to be one of these two. Just using Philomeno rules. Okay, so I guess let's look at the 11 next. If we don't get anything in the 11, I'm going to the 7 because it's another small one. I feel like the smaller ones have fewer options. So, all right, the 11. Well, interestingly, if it's not a 4 here, if the X digit is not a 4, the second digit will have to be a 4. So we could have. So we couldn't do 2, 9, for example, because the 4 is trapped over here. It needs a 4th cell. Oh, uh-oh. I messed up scrolling. You gotta be careful scrolling when you're recording the solve. Okay, there we go. The scroll wheel on my mouse is too easy to hit. All right, so we said it couldn't be a 2. Could it be a 3? Well, if it's 3, then this is 4. And we have 7. So this would have to be another 4. And we can't do that because we would end up with 5 4s. So we can't do 3. If we do 4, now that completes this. So this one can no longer be a 4. We would need 7 and 3, which is doable. We could do, of course, we could do 1, 2, 4. That's normally, when we're doing killer Sudoku and things like that, arrows. Normally I say, 7 has to be 1, 2, 4. But we can repeat digits on this. So we could do 1, 2, 4. We could do 3, 3, 1. We could do, in fact, 3, 3, 1 would work pretty well because we'd have, our 3s here, or 1, 3, 3 would even work. You'd have your 3s, but just because it works well doesn't mean it's right. All right, well, let's see if 5 would work at all here, because if not, then we'll know that's a 4. 5 would have, you'd have to have 4 more cells, summing to 6. Could we do that? Well, we can't. We could repeat a 1, but not connected. So you could do 1, 2, 2, 1, couldn't you? If you had 5, you could do 1, 2, 2, 1, and I think that would work. Your 3s. Oh, no, 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 because your 3 would then be forced up to here, 3, 3, and this would be a single cell. It'd have to be a 1, and it would be connected to a 1. So actually, 1, 2, 2, 1 doesn't work. And oh, but you could do something. No, it doesn't matter how we arrange the 1s and 2s. You have the same problem of forcing the 3 up here. So that doesn't work. Is there any other way to do? No, you can't, because if you think 1, 1, 2, 2, right? Whatever the order is, that gets you 6 in 4, which is what we would need if this is a 5. And it doesn't really matter what order you do them in, but if you weren't going to use this, the only other option is to increase one of them and decrease one of them. Well, if you increase one of the 1s and decrease a 2, you just have the same thing. And you can't increase the 2s. You could increase one of them and decrease the 2 by 1, right? So then you'd have 3, 1, 1, 1. But now there's no way to arrange it so that you don't have 1s next to each other. So actually, I think 5 is not possible, and that has to be a 4. Now, what goes with the 4, I'm less sure about. Because now we have 3 cells totaling 7, and it could be 3, 3, 1 or 1, 2, 4, as long as the 4 is up here, obviously. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. Okay. I'm going to go to the 7 here. So we could do 2 with 5, obviously. 3, these would have to sum to 4, which could be 2, 2, or 1 and 3. If this was 4, yeah, that wouldn't work, because you'd need 3 cells that sum to 3, and they'd all have to be 1s, which can't work. So that's a 2 or a 3 at the start. Okay, let's maybe look at the 8s up here. Crossed with the 12. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so, well, if this is 2, this would have to be 6, and I doubt this can be 6. Because you'd have 6 and 2 already is 8, and you'd have to have 4 cells that total 4, so there's no way that can work. 3, these would have to sum to 5, which could be 1, 4, or 2, 3. The 12 can't be 2, because you'd have to have a 10. And there's no way that works with the 8. So the 12 can't be 2. Could the 12 be 3? These would have to sum to 9. Yeah, that seems like it would work. You could have 4 and 5. Or even, I mean, this one down here could be a lot of things, because it's not connected with the 8. So you could even do 3, 2, 7 or something, potentially. So 3 works there. So 3... yeah, you could do 3, 3, 5. I don't know. There's a lot of options up here. Because this could be 3. It could be 4 for sure, I bet. 4. You'd have 6. Yeah, these two would just have to total 6. I think you could even do 5 here. 5 and 2 is 7. So you'd have to have 3 cells summing to 5. Well, but this can't be 5 because the 8's going to be limited. Right, because if you had, we decided that this couldn't be 2, so 3 is the minimum, and if you had a 5 there, you'd already have 8, and there you'd have to have a 0 over here. So 3, 4, 1 would work. 3, 3, 2. I think those might be, if this is 4, yeah, you're not going to be able to, because 4 and 3 would be, 3 is the smallest we can do here. So 4 and 3 is 7. You'd have to do 2 cells summing to 1. So it's either 3, 4, 1, or 3, 3, 2, actually. And if it's a 4, this has to be a 4, because the 4 has to be connected to other 4s. So if that was 4, 4, you'd have 8 and 2 is 10. And this would have to be a 2. And you can't put a 2 next to a completed 2 down. So actually, I think that's a 3. I think this is 3, 3, 3, 2, which means these two sum to 6. One of these two has to be a 3. So this can't, okay, what about the other 8? This one can't be a 2, it'd have to be 2, 6. If it's a 3, then this one can't be a 3. So you could do 3, 2, 3 maybe? You're getting, no, because again, this 2 would have to come down to another 2. So you can't do 3, 2. You can't do 3, 3. You'd have to do 3, 4, 1. And then down here you'd have 7 and, oh, 7. Yeah, so this would be, but this can't be a 4. Right, because this has to, if this is a 4, this has to continue down as a 4, and then you'd only have 11 there. So I think if this is 3, this can't be 2. If it's, oh, but we could do 3, 1, 4, couldn't we? Does that work? Just 4. This would have to be an 8. Yeah, I think that would work actually. Okay, so 3, 1, 4 is possible. Can this possibly be a 4? You'd have to have 3. It'd have to be 1, 2, 1, wouldn't it? Because you'd have to have a 2 and 2 1s to make 4, and the 2 would have to split up the 1s. You'd have, but then, see, you'd have your 2 domino here, and you'd have a stranded space, which would have to be a 1, and then you'd have 3 1s connected. So that does not work. So I think it has to be 3, 1, 4. Which means this is an 8. Interesting. Okay, let's draw in our borders here. This 2 is going to have to go over that way. Nope. 2. Big 2. Now, this could be, I was going to say this has to be an 8, but it actually could be a 1 or an 8. Because the 8s, there's going to have to be 8 8s somehow connected here. And they could be connected coming out here, but that could also be a 1, actually. My instinct is that it's an 8, but it could be a 1. We've had quite a few 1s already. Some given by the x sums, but we've already had 2 that were just found because they were because they needed to be there. So we could definitely have another kind of hidden 1 there, I guess. I feel like the 33 just, there's way too many. I mean, it could be a 9 almost even. Yeah, I think there's way too. I mean, it can't be something small, obviously. You're not going to be able to make 33 in 3 cells, for example. But even 4, maybe. I mean, if you had 4 and then maybe not 4, 5 could do it though. You could have 5 with 4 7s. Well, but the 5 would have to have another. Actually, whatever digit is here is going to have to be next to it as well. Because it's, if this is a 5, for example, you got to get 5 cells then. But then it could turn right away, so it's not like you have to repeat the digit too many times along the 33. Yeah, I think there's just too many possibilities there. Okay, I'm going to look at this 11 up here because there's already the 1. And unless it's 2, 9, it's going to have to use the 1. And it can't be 2, 9 because there's an 11 going the other way, and this would have to be 9, and that 2 would be isolated. So that's interesting. So whatever you put right here is going to have to be duplicated in at least one of these 2. Okay, so if this was 3, this would have to be 7. Because We've already got the 1 there. Which means this would have to be a 3 and a 7. This would force this to be 3, 3, 3, which would only be 9 for this 11 clue. So it can't be 3. What about 4? Now we've got 5 already. We need 2 more to total 6. So this could potentially be another 4 with a 2. And then this wouldn't have to be a 4. But you've got 3 cells, so it's 1, 3, 3 or 1, 2, 4. This one can't be a 1. So it could be a 4, 1, 2, something like that if they were the same. But it could also be 1, 3, 3, and one of these could be a 3, and the 4 can get out over here. And this wouldn't have to be 4 and 2. This could be 2 and 4. It can't be 1 and 5. It would have to be 4 and 2. Could it be 2 with a 4? This would have to be 4 then. This would have to be 2. You're going to have, no, because you're going to have 3 4s already, which is going to be 12. So actually, if it's 4, then it has to be 4, 1, 2. Could this be 5? Well, you'd already have 6 on both of them, actually. So you'd have to have 3 cells totaling 5, which would be 2, 2, 1. 3, 1, 1 would work, but it would have to be 1, 3, 1, and you'd still have the 1s next to each other. So it'd have to be 2, 2, 1. So we'd have to have the 1, something like that. And going this way, it would have to be 2, 1, 2, 1, like that, so that you don't have the 1s next to each other. That looks like it's possible. But either way, this ended up being a 2. Okay, so we're going to say that can be a 4 or a 5. This has to be a 2. Wait. No. No, I just realized. If that's 5, one of these two has to be a 5. We just said that a little bit ago. Whatever this digit is, it has to be repeated in one of these two directions. And whichever direction you repeat it, you're going to have 5, 5, and a 1 already, which is 11. Or 5, 5, and a 1, which is 11. So you can't have 5. You can't have 5. So this is 4. 4, 4, 1, 2. Okay. Cool. All right, so that means this doesn't necessarily have to be a 4, though, because the 4 could come down and this way or down and over here. But we definitely need 7. It could be 1, 3, 3 or... But even if it's 4, 1, 2, it could even be 1, 1, 2, 4. This could be a 4. Going, well, not over to this one, but somewhere else. Okay, so there's a lot of options across here. This is a 2, 3, or 4, I guess. Because it could be, yeah, it could be 3, 3, 1, or it could be 1, 2, 4, in which case you could do 4, 1, 2, or 1. This one couldn't be a 4. It could be a 2. I think those are the options. Now, let's think about this. 4, 4, this could be a 4. The fourth one would have to be here, right? Because you can't do 3 4s across here. If this is the 1, then the 4 has... So this one is a 4 no matter what. But is the fourth one there or one of these two is the question. So it could be 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 3. Yeah, okay. I think all of those are possible. All right. Where do we look next? I feel like we're making steady progress, but it certainly doesn't feel simple at all. At least not to me. All right. Well, we got another 11 with a 1 down here. So, but we don't have the same restrictions that we did up here with going the other direction. It can be almost anything here. So we could put the 5 here, for example, and get the 5s out another way. We also have an 8 here. That's going to be somewhat limited. So, let's see. 8 could be 2, 6. Yeah, and again, the 8s aren't as restricted because they don't have the 12 crossing it like we did up here. Up here, we couldn't do 2, 6 because of the 12. 2, 6, it could be 3 with a 1, 4, or a 2, 3. Now actually, no. I take that back. This is somewhat restricted by the 11 instead, because it's not so much up here. We had the 6 couldn't be on here because of the 12, but down here the problem with this one is this 2 now has to come this way, and we can't have 2 2 on the 11 clue. So actually 2 6 is not possible. What about 3? Now 3 isn't going to have quite the same restriction because you could actually do 3 3 2, and so the 3 could get out another way, and this wouldn't have to be a 3. In fact, it couldn't be a 3. Because if this is a 3, you'd have 3 3 1. You'd only have 7. So if this is 3, it's going to have to be followed by a 3. So 3 3 2. If it's 4, now the 4 could go this way. But to avoid having 4, because if it's 4, you couldn't do a repeated 4, because you'd already be at 8 after only 2 cells. So to avoid doing a repeated 4, the 4 would have to come all the way up here to the 9. Can the 9 be a 4? 3. You'd have to do 2 2 1. Yeah, I think that's possible actually. But the 4, yeah, I think that would work because you could do 4 1 2 1, and you could do 4 2 2 1. And it seems like it would work. And 3 1 3, yeah, for the 7. Yeah, that would work, I think. 4 4, you'd have 9, you'd have another 2 over here. That would work. Okay, so the 4 is possible. The 3 is possible. You can't do a 5 for sure. There's no way you can get 8 in 5 cells. So if it's 4, it has to be 1 2 1. So either way, that's a 2, isn't it? It's interesting. That's a 2 whether this is 3 or 4. So if this is 3, this has to be, oh, okay, right. So if this is 3, we've got 4 here total already for the 11. So we need 7 more. This has to be bigger than 3, right? Because you can't do 3 and 3 because then you've only got 7. So this is bigger than 3. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's just say it's 9 for right now. It's not that big, but let's just, whatever it is, it's bigger than 3. Well, where is that going to connect to? Here, let's just call it A. Where's A going to connect to? It's got to come up this way. Well, it's blocked in, so it only has 3 cells. So you can't put anything bigger than a 3 there, unless it's this 4 cell thing like we were talking about as a possibility. So this is 4, 1 2 1. These have to be 4 4 4 to give us our 4 polyomino. We've got our 1s here. This has to be now 3. Can't be 2. So 3 and 1 and 3, which means the 3 has to come up this way to get out. It's going to push the 2 over. This 2 is going to get pushed out. 4, 2, 2 gives us 8. We need one more to make 9. Look at that. We're getting all kinds of stuff all of a sudden. All right, the 2's now. This 3 can't come up or it'll connect to the other 3. So it's actually going to have to come out to the right. But we don't know where it goes from there, I don't think. But that filled in a lot of the grid. Okay, cool. Now, let's see. So we've done this 11. We've done the 7, the 9. This 11 we got to finish. So 4, 4, 1, that's 9. We need a 2 to finish off the 11. Now, this 2 can't come up, because if it does, you're going to have a single cell here that's going to have to be a 1. So the 2 is going to have to go this way. And now we're getting close to encroaching on our 10 and 11 over here. All right. So, interesting. So in here, this can't be a 1 or a 2. It's got to be at least 3. But if it's not 3, now it's got to be something that's, coming across here or coming out here. Okay, let's look at this one. So it clearly can't be a 1. Can't be a 2. Can't be a 4. Could it be a 3? You would need 2 cells that well, if it's a 3, right. So no matter what it is, if it's a 3, 5, I don't think it could even be as high as 5, could it? Could you do 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you could, because you can make. No, can you make 5 and 4 cells? Not without repeating 1s. No, you can't. So this can't be 5. So this has to be a 3, actually. Well, I was gonna say whatever it is, it has to be repeated. Oh, that's another reason it couldn't be a 5, I guess, because it would have to be 5 and 5. Because whatever it is, it's got to get out of here. So 3, 3. We're at 6. This one has to be a 4 then to complete the 10. So the 3 has to go one of these 2 directions. If it goes over here, then it forces that 3 up, but that's not necessarily a problem, I don't think. This way. Okay. So this 11, what can the 11 do? So if this was a 3, you'd have 7, you'd need, you could do 2, 2. You could do 1, 3. This could be a 3. It could be 3, 1, 3, and you could do a 3 triomino up there with this one. With the 1 there, I think that would work. Oh, but what did we say over here? Right. This one, so we said this could be a 3, right? If it stuck over here, but now it can't be a 3. Because you're going to have 5 cells that are all 3 here. So this actually has to be, and it can't be a 4, because if this is a 4, right, this is the classic Philomeno thing of, it can't be a 1 because it connects to a 1. It can't be a 2 because it connects to a 2. It can't be a 3 because it connects to a 3. If it's a 4, it comes up here and connects to a 4. So it has to be at least 5, which means it has to get out to there. I'm just going to call these A for right now. That's at least 5. Okay, so that's going to push our 3 over here, which is going to force this 3 to come up. Now we've got 7 here. This could be, and this 3, remember earlier we said this 3 couldn't go up here because it would isolate a cell, which would put a 1 there. We can't do that. So the 3 actually has to go this way. So we get this. Now 4, 3, 3. This has to be a 1 for the 11 clue, which is going to push this 4 up farther. So this 4, 4. It has to go to there at least. We push the 3 up here. The A has to come out. No, it doesn't. No. Because we said this was at least 5, but it could just be those 5. It could stop right there. Okay, so whatever is in here, right, so we've got the same thing as down here. So let's call this B. It can't be a 1, can't be a 2, can't be a 3, can't be a 4. So it's got to be bigger than 4. So, okay. It could be the 8 here to connect, but I don't think it has to be. In fact, this could be. No, it can't connect. Well, yeah, no, it can't connect to the A. I was going to say the A and B could be the same number, but they can't be because they'll cut off the 4, or they'll cut off the 8 if it came up and over like this. So the A and the B are different. Well, they could be the same number again. It could be 5 and 5, and the 4 could go over here, but they don't connect to each other anyways. They could still be the same number. But what we do know is this 33 clue. These are 3 B's, and they're at least 5. So that's 15 right there. If this was 5, you'd have 15 and 4 is 19. This would have to be 14. That's obviously not going to work. No, so these can't be. They got to be bigger than 5. What if they were 8? Well, but then you're going to have 8 cells for the sum. Let's see. So 3 is 24. 28 plus 6. You're already at 34. So these can't be 8, actually. Okay, so, and this has to be 8 no matter what, because the 8 has to. But knowing the B's can't be 8 means this goes here. 4, 4. This is B, because we said it had to be at least 5. But 5 didn't work, did it? So it's got to be at least 6? I think it has to be at least 6. So now we go there, which forces the 4, which makes these 5s. Okay, so this is at least 6, so it's going to use all of these for sure. So we've got 4, 4, and 3, which is 11 already. These are at least 6. If they were 6, that would be 11 plus 18 is 29. If these are 7, we'd have 21 plus 11 is 32. So this would have to be a 1. I think that's what it has to be. I think these are 7s. These are 8s. We got to keep the 8s going, which puts the 7s here. That 4's got to get out somehow. It's got to do that. And now we just got to finish off this little bit up here. So this can't be 4 anymore. So it's either 1, 3, 3 or... but it can't be 4, 1, 2 because this 2 is going to be trapped. So I think it has to be 1, 3, 3 with a 3 here and a 4 there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got, yep, that gives us 6 8s. And I think, hooray, your solution is correct. All right. There we go. That was a really fun puzzle. Really interesting how the Philomeno and X sums related to each other, but it was weird. It was like they were related and working with each other, but kind of working against each other almost, because for the X sums, I felt like I needed to repeat digits sometimes or not repeat digits sometimes, because if you got too big of an X number, then you couldn't repeat it because of the X sums, but you had to repeat the big numbers. There was kind of this tension there where the bigger numbers needed to be repeated more because of the Philomeno, but couldn't be repeated more because of the X sums, I felt like. Here, just for fun, I'm going to draw in the rest of our borders here. For completeness sake, there we go. So, yeah, that was a really interesting combination. I don't know that I ever would have thought to put X sums with Philomeno, but that was really cool. So, thank you for that. And now on Penpa here, I see it says author. I'm guessing it's Jesper, not Jesper now, because I see it's Jesper Josefsson. I think could be Jesper Josephson. Who knows? I guess it depends where they're from. But either way, Jesper or Jesper, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that puzzle. Thank you. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you thought. If you were able to figure out all the logic there and complete it, and if you like that rule set, I think maybe they've got some more of these, possibly too, on Logic Masters Germany. If you go check out their page. So, all right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again soon.